Fellas, in this video, I want to share with you 5 ways your workout game builds a more dangerous version of you. By dangerous, I do not mean making you more reckless, aggressive, more of a criminal, more of just doing goofy shit or anything like that. That's not what I mean. When I say that your workout game builds a more dangerous version of you, I mean a version of you that knows himself on the highest level from top to bottom. When you work out and you start getting in the gym and you start taking it seriously and the lifestyle changes that you have to start doing to make this shit work, it also really, it makes you know yourself on a whole different level than you have ever before. And I got 5 ways that it does that. Now, the first way that your workout game builds a more dangerous version of you is that you develop restraint and you learn to say no. Okay, that's what I mean. When you develop more restraint in your lifestyle, because when you start working out and taking it seriously, I'm not talking about somebody that's working out, twice a month, someone who really adopts the lifestyle. When you start taking it seriously, you start developing more restraint in the sense of you can't eat certain things. You know that you're not able to do some of the things that you were doing before you started working out and really taking it seriously. You got to start prioritizing your sleep a bit better. You try to get more water in. You switch up the types of foods that you're eating. You may not be eating as much fast food, and you switch it up to more healthy, whole foods and stuff like that, all right? This is like a lifestyle shift that happens when you start working out. This is what makes you more of a dangerous version of yourself, okay? You start to take yourself more seriously. You start to prioritize yourself. You start to say, hey, you know what? I can't have those donuts right now. Maybe come Saturday I can have a couple, but right now throughout the week I'm on my shit. I can't have that right now. You learn how to say no to things like maybe alcohol, or maybe putting yourself in certain social settings that really aren't bringing you any value in your life. When you start working out, that skill, that muscle that you're working and building that restraint, it starts to bleed over into other things in your life. That's why working out, practicing body game, getting a nice physique, and putting your time and attention into this type of stuff can really help you out in the long run. The second way that your workout game builds a more dangerous version of you is that you become more quietly confident. All right, this is one thing that I really noticed when I started working out, or when I started working out in the journey that I've been on. When you first start out, it's almost like you're in the lab kind of working on yourself as an experiment. And then as time is going, that experiment is brewing in the lab and you're seeing the changes that are happening. No one else is, other people are seeing them, but when they finally do see them, it's almost like you're this new revamped version of yourself where you think a little bit more highly of yourself, not in an egotistical way, but you've been in the lab and you've been working and you've been building and doing things. It's like you've been testing yourself. You've been putting yourself under pressure. You've been challenging yourself in a whole different way, which is really going to enhance your confidence and how you feel about yourself. Confidence comes from challenging yourself, man, and getting to the other side of things, man. It comes from being competent in something too. Like saying, I don't know how to do this right now, but I'm going to learn how to do this. For example, working out. I may not be good at this right now. I may not have a routine down. I may feel scatterbrained as hell when I go to the gym, but I'm gonna learn this and I'm gonna figure this out. And when I come, that's what's gonna build my confidence, because I've taught myself something. I've gotten to the other side, okay? This is gonna build your confidence quietly, under the radar. You don't have to be in everybody's face about it. And when they see you and they see the physical results and they see how your shirts is fitting you and stuff, they're gonna be like, damn, where have you been? Or damn, you've really been working on something. Number 3 is that you become a better time manager and planner. This is going to make you more dangerous because when you start working out, you start to prioritize and value your time. That's one thing that we can never get back. And I think it's one thing that we really take for granted is our time, man. All right. And when you start working out, like me, for example, I know I need an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes in the gym, no matter what I'm doing. Because I know I got to warm up. So anything I got to do throughout the day, it's almost like, all right, I need to work out, whether it's after work, so I'm gonna need an hour and 15 for that. It becomes more automatic and you're able to plan your days or your evenings, or maybe you got dates, maybe you're out here seeing women, you're able to plan a bit better because you know yourself a bit better. You know what you need to be successful in working out and how that's going to translate into your everyday life. And like I said, the more that you have that sense of knowing of yourself, this is going to allow you to plan and to manage not only your time, but to manage yourself a bit better, okay? Like I said, when you start working out, you start prioritizing sleep, food, all these types of things, and that all bleeds over in the sense of you become better managing of yourself, better planning, better, I need to do this in order to get this done. You start being able to like kind of just carving out different pockets of time and becoming more aware of your time. Okay, that's what working out is going to do. Hopefully that's what it should do for you. All right, now the fourth way that your workout game builds a more dangerous version of you is that you strengthen your follow-through game. This is something I see a lot of us dudes lacking out here. We do not follow through with what we say we're going to do, okay? And this is something that you really want to start working on as a man too, because this is almost like how you honor yourself as a man. All right, when you start working out, taking it seriously, you start to honor yourself. You start to build respect for yourself. You start to say, I need to get this done today. I need to get to the gym today, and I'm going to do it. And every time that you do that and you get to the other side of it, man, again, you're building that confidence within yourself. You're also building the trust within yourself. You're learning that you can depend on yourself. You can rely on yourself. These are things that you don't need to look outside of yourself for, because you are building it within yourself. So it's very important to develop that follow-through game, man. Fellas, if you are getting any value out of this video so far, please smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you know when I make more videos just like this, all right? Now, for this last way that your workout game builds a more dangerous version of you, it's that you learn that you are capable of more, all right? And when I say more, I mean more of everything. When you start working out in the gym, not only do you realize that you're more capable of, how strong you are or how much you can move, how much you can lift, you start to realize that, obviously, because you start to see that in your everyday life too. You start carrying groceries or maybe carrying luggage from a trip, and you're helping somebody move. You start to realize how light this shit is. You'll start to see like, damn, I'm actually a lot more capable than I thought I was. I've been putting in the work, and it's actually showing out here in the real world. But also on the flip side of that, you also start to realize how much more capable you are of handling stress. Not only the physical stress that like comes with working out, but mental stress too. When you're in a gym and you're lifting heavy weight, man, there's a moment there where your mental game, you were just really locked in, man. You're really present, you're really in the moment, and it's just you and the weight. This starts to translate out into the real world too, man. When you start, because you're intentionally putting yourself under pressure in the gym. So out in the real world, when pressure hits, when you get into an argument, when somebody said something to you, when somebody cut you off in traffic, those just random examples, when this happens and that pressure, you can feel that on you, you can handle it a bit better. It's almost like you handle that shit like, man, I got to get to the gym anyway today. I'm not even really worried about this shit. It's like you're able to like, hopefully you can start reframing things easier. That's why your workout game really plays into your mental game. And I talk about this in a lot of my videos, man. If you're into working out, building a quality physique, but really starting to kind of like improve your mindset that comes behind that, then make sure you check out my playlist on body game, okay, where I talk about not just working out, but also, the discipline, the confidence, the dedication, those types of things that come out of this as well. Feel free to leave me some comments below. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you thought of this list. Try to add something to it too, man. Let me know what y'all think, all right? Also, if you want one-on-one coaching for self-mastery, learning how to understand yourself on a deeper level, then use the link in the description, all right? And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.